Hello and welcome to Morezone, everything Call of Duty, Warzone and more. My name is Adam Bryce and I'll be bringing you the show this week, and it is a big show. Season 4 is finally here, so let's take a look at what we have coming up. We have Morezone news covering all the latest news of Season 4. Our top 5 plays return once again. We have Bizzle joining us here in our Loadout highlight this week. We go off the meta with the P90 and we visit downtown. Well, we are certainly going to have a big show for you this week, as you can see. But let's get right into our news section. Let's talk about everything Warzone, because we have to cover all of Season 4 and its changes. This is Morezone News. Call of Duty Modern Warfare Season 4 has now arrived, and it comes with a ton of changes to the main game as well as Warzone. So if you want to jump into Warzone right now, there are 3 new in-game events that can trigger halfway through a match. They are Jailbreak, which allows everybody in the gulag or dead to come back to life. There is Fire Sale, which will reduce everything 80% off, but some things are free. And Supply Choppers. Heavily armored choppers appear on the map, and if you take them down, you can get a supply crate featuring armor, UAVs, a ton of cash, and grenade launchers. But that's not all. Warzone Rumble has now appeared. This is a 50v50 mode relegated to certain parts of the map, which will allow you to just fill your heart's desire in taking place in big battles. Of course, the new Battle Pass is now available as well, featuring many new operators, guns, skins, XP, and all the goodies that you really want in a Battle Pass to grind out for the rest of the season. There is also new stuff coming to the main game. Baccarat Promenade has been added to Ground War, Trench Mosh Pit, a new gunfight map, is now 2v2, and Scrapyard 24/7. There are also 2 new weapons in the game. The Fennec SMG unlocked at tier 15 of the Battle Pass, and the CR56 AMAX unlocked at tier 31. There also appears to be new Easter eggs in and around Call of Duty, but we'll leave you to find those and maybe cover them in future episodes. In Warzone competitions, the Royal Ruckus kicked off. It's a 3-day event, $150,000 on the line, featuring pro players, influencers, and celebrities. The winner of which was Team Scraps, featuring Scraps, Delio, and Jukesies. Another Vibe Warzone tournament took place as well. The open tournament this time was won by Samsey, Bizzle, and Hadzi. Bizzle will actually be joining us later on in the program. Warzone Wednesday has also returned for week number 9, and this time it is going to be Mutex and Aiden who walked away with the win in this $50,000 tournament. Warzone competitions keep on going with Weekend Warzone, the pro player from the CDL tournament, which was eventually won by Team Ricky, with Lacefield, Slacked, and Shocks joining him to take that win. And speaking of pro player wins, we also had the Rocker Home Series this weekend, which the Mutineers now win their 2nd home series, taking down FaZe Atlanta in the finals. And that is the Warzone news for this week. Well, like I said, awful lot to cover in Season 4, but fortunately it hasn't stopped our next section. Still great clips coming in from the community, clips that you can submit if you want to drop a Twitch or YouTube link to either the Morezone on Twitter or our Reddit r/Morezone. Feel free. There are 2,400 COD points available every week for people to win. So without further ado, here are our top 5 clips. In at number 5 this week, Alfie, with only seconds left to go on the bounty, is going to be able to hit that cross map into the helicopter, take that player down, and collect all the money. Wolverine this week is going to have the Dragon's Breath shotgun. Legendary weapon, and you can see why in this clip. Starts taking people down, just setting them ablaze late in the game with this. You don't see this very often, but manages to put it to very good work. And you think he's done? Not quite. One more player coming out. That's the bounty, that's the contract, that's the clip. At number 3, we have the Academic, and it looks like they're about to show us just how good they are with a sniper. A team gets caught crossing the open ground, and he is going to make them pay one shot at a time, just not really missing. And even when a revive comes up, he manages to get another shot on and takes it down. At number 2, we have Prevailers jumping into the game straight away. Very, very aggressive start. Already finds one LMG, but watch what he does to put this to work. Sees players pouring in around him, taking shots, gets one blue, goes on the roof, sees somebody behind him, turns on him, takes that player down, but not quite done. 56 bullets left. What can he do with them? Well, looks like that other roof is vulnerable to getting sprayed down as that entire team just gets wiped. Our number one clip this week is brought to you by Kieran B, and it is going to be a long one. Starts off in Superstore, a place famous for its high kill games, and chaos basically ensues from this point. Already seeing him taking down 2 players, third player's going to challenge him, takes that one down for his first team wipe. Now, getting enough body plates in and ammo to continue his reign of terror. Only him and one teammate left, but another player by the fork truck isn't going to worry him, as that player also gets dealt with in short order. A few body shots, but he hears another player coming, it jumps out in a big way to take that one down and is desperately trying to stay alive. Teammate is now with him, but he doesn't actually need him as he now gets another kill onto the board. Kieran is just going berserk here in Superstore and hasn't slowed down yet. And as you can tell, like I said, this is a long one because it doesn't stop quite here. He goes hunting for more players in the Superstore. Here's one. Eventually takes him down with the M4 and the player challenges him and somehow turns burns, and that's the clip. Another great selection of clips there from the world of Warzone. And of course, like I said, please submit your clips in for next week. There is a chance every week to win more and more COD points, and congratulations to our winners this week. But speaking of winners, we decided to have a loadout highlight with someone very special. Now, there are tournaments going on all over the place at the moment in regards to Warzone. And we managed to catch up with the winner of this week's Vibe Warzone, ex-pro player Sam Bizzle, to take us through what it takes to win a tournament. All right, thank you for joining us here, Bizzle. Glad to have you on. How are you?
I'm good, thank you, buddy. How are you?
I'm very good. I'm very good. Maybe not as good as you, though. Congratulations on the tournament win.
Thanks so much. I appreciate it. Thank you, buddy.
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right, let's kind of get into your loadout then, because, you know, when you win a tournament, people want to know what you're running, how you've won it, all that sort of stuff. So, as we can kind of see already, your loadout, you've got obviously for the Growl as your main weapon. Now, the curious thing,
one choice.
Yeah, it is the number one choice. The main difference I can see on yours to some others, first of all, no stock.
Yep.
Why have you gone that way?
To be honest, I tried various things and I just found what I found comfortable, really. I think it's just one of those where I just played around. Some things felt nicer than others. And it's just more about finding what's comfortable to you, if that makes sense.
No, that makes perfect sense. I think that's, you know, a very legitimate thing that people need to take into account. Especially, you know, the rest of your Growl seems fairly meta, right? You've got Commando Full Grip, the Tempest, and the Monolithic. All 3 of these we see on every single gun. I'm trying to look now. Is that the 50-round mag you're running?
That was. I keep changing.
It's the speed difference, right? The ADS we were talking about.
Yeah. But sometimes it is worth having those extra 10 bullets, you know?
Yeah.
You run into a team of 4 and sometimes, especially if you're not running overkill as well, it is best to have those extra 10 bullets. They do come in handy sometimes. So I've made the mistake of only having 50 quite a few times.
In fairness, you know, if you can drop them in time, you can drop them in time. As we talk about your overkill class here, this is something I haven't seen very much of. Usually when people are running overkill, they're running either a sniper or the MP5. You've actually gone for the MP7, which a lot of people would like to run as a main weapon. Why that?
It's a thing of beauty. It's a thing of beauty. To be honest, when I used to play on Black Ops 2 and stuff like that, that was the gun I always went for. MP7. It's just been one of my favourite guns since I played all the Call of Duty. So I think it's just more of a comfort thing I like. And with it compared to the MP5, the MP7 is a bit more cleaner at the kind of long distance shots. If that makes sense. MP5 is like really in your face kind of thing. Whereas if you've got an MP7, you've run out of AR bullets, something like that. If you've got like a middle distance fight, you can still ping them a bit better with the MP7 compared to the MP5. So that's why I go for the MP7.
No, I appreciate that, because I have often thought, you know, the MP7 is probably he's probably third in my rankings of guns at the moment, and usually people run it as a main weapon. Essentially what you're doing is you've got 2 main weapons here you can use at most distances. Yeah,
essentially.
I like that. Let's have a quick look at your MP7 then. You've got
Oh,
the
here
close
we go.
quarters stock on and
Yep.
Ranger foregrip, things I don't
Yep.
always see on this gun.
No, it's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, why are you running those?
So the Ranger foregrip, as I said before, just to give you a little bit of extra range. It does boost the range up on it a little bit. And the close quarter stock, it just gives you a bit of faster ADS speed.
Okay.
So that's why I run those. But yeah, the Ranger foregrip, I found it does help quite a bit in those extra like middle distance fights, as I said before, if that makes sense.
No,
So that's
makes
why
perfect
I
sense.
run that. Controversial. It is controversial.
Hey, I am all for different kind of loadouts of guns. You know, I don't want to see people
It'd be
running the
boring
same
if it's
thing.
all the same, wouldn't it?
It certainly would.
If it's all the same.
And telling the truth, it works for you. You won a tournament with it, so I can't really
Exactly.
knock it for that. Here's something else. You know, when we were talking beforehand, you mentioned you usually like to run two different classes. You have one with your overkill, which is what we're looking at now, and you also have another one where you run your ghost class. How does that work in tournaments? What do you go for first? How do you kind of determine?
Tournament-wise, I'd always pick my ghost class first. If I run overkill the tournament, I just feel I could run past anybody sitting in the corner with a heartbeat sensor. If they pick it up early in the game, if you get an early loadout, say if you get 10,000 together super quick from one building and you want to get a loadout, people getting UAVs early, getting heartbeats early, and it's just so easy to be running somewhere. And some could be even in a bush, do you know what I mean, with a heartbeat sensor, and then you're dead and you're out the tournament. So me and my partner actually, Hadzi, we had a discussion about this because we lost a map. I think it was in the third round where I ran Ghost and he didn't run Ghost, and we went to challenge a team, and they pinged the UAV just before we went to challenge, and I said, "You haven't got Ghost, have you?" Because as soon as that ping, they all four turned and just bam, we were dead. So we had quite a little insight into that, and he's running Ghost every time now. So
hey, well, you know what? If it works, it works. It's an interesting way to kind of differentiate, how we kind of play and go into a tournament game.
There's another thing to that though as well, though, because at the moment with the new season, you get MP7 floor loot as well, and the MP7 for floor loot is really, really good. So straight away, I'll pick my ground in the tournament and then just use a floor loot MP7 because that shreds as well. So
the blue one you're talking about that you get,
and
that's
even a normal green one as well. That's dirty. It is really dirty.
Yeah.
But I just think Ghost is so key. I know a lot of people like having those two main guns, but I just feel just for because you get another loadout at the end of Circle 1 anyway. Just for those extra couple of 2 minutes, just having Ghost, I think it's so much more worth it because you don't know what you're running into, really. If that makes sense.
No, it makes perfect sense to me. Like I said, I've had more than one experience with teammates not running Ghost, and I'm sitting there going, "You've ruined everything for me." No, that makes sense. That makes sense. All right, let's talk about where you like to drop them, because obviously that's going to be very, very important going into a tournament setting.
Also controversial, isn't it? Also controversial.
So where is your regular drop then?
So at hangars near the airfield, you've got obviously those, quite a few hangars. There's like a tin building, what we call a quarry building, just behind the hangars.
Okay,
drop there because I think there's 3 stories there. It's like a 3-story tin building.
Yes.
You can grab a lot of loot, and also if you drop there, you've got cover. You're not out in the open. You're not getting pinged from left, right, and centre. Whereas if you drop hangars, you're so open to anything. You've got quite a few windows in that building as well. So when there is teams fighting at hangars, you can try to pick a few off, nick a few kills. As soon as you nick a few early kills, that puts pressure on the other team straight away because then they're chasing kills behind you. They've got to then get extra aggressive. So that's my go-to drop.
Sounds good.
When we first started, we tried dropping edge of the map, playing slow, getting the load out. We were finding a lot of the time we were then 5 or 6 kills down. We were then rushing what we were doing, trying to get back in the game. So we tried it, and it's worked perfectly so far.
Awesome, and that sounds good. I've never actually landed in that tin building. It's usually something I have to fight my way into.
It's not ideal. It's not ideal when there's people in there.
No, it really isn't. All right, then let's talk about your top tip for Warzone, because I'm sure a lot of people are wanting to know, who maybe want to compete in the future. What is your best tip for maybe competing in these tournaments, or how you like to play it?
Got 2 for you. But I was going to go with 1. Obviously,
okay.
The Ghost.
I like 2.
The Ghost situation. I think Ghost is so key. Running Ghost early is just key for me. Just as I said before, you could run into anyone with a heartbeat sensor in the corner, especially if all their team are dead. They're going to be camping even more so as such. So Ghost for me is key, and also don't drop anywhere which is in an open space. Kind of as I said before, where I'd like to drop. I like to drop somewhere that's quite enclosed. I've also got height on people, so if they're running over from, say, hangars or coming from a superstore, I've got height, so it's easy to pull those shots as well. So yeah, that's my two tips. My two tips for you. But yeah, just don't drop anywhere where it's open. You don't want to be running from building to building, potentially getting picked off by someone mounting on a wall somewhere, that kind of thing. So
That's a good tip.
A nice safe area, get loot up, and then just get your load out early.
Awesome, I love that. Well, I appreciate you coming on today. Thank you very much for joining us, and again, congratulations on the tournament.
Thank you so much.
All right, well, thank you very much,
and
we'll speak soon.
Take care. No worries, Alan. Thank you very much.
Always good catching up with Sam, and hopefully you've learned a little bit about how to get better at those infamous kill races that seem to be taking place all over Warzone at the moment. But from one great section with Sam to another, this time it's time for Off the Meta, and we take a little look at the P90. The P90, one of the most infamous guns in Call of Duty history. Me and this weapon have spent an awful lot of time together. But how is it in Warzone? Well, it has a lot of good attributes that would make it a great gun for many people playing with it. High capacity magazine, low recoil, fast fire rate, and it's an SMG, so you get the movement. These are all great positive things from this weapon. However, in my experience of playing with it over the last few days, and I'll be honest with you, I didn't get very many good clips with it, mainly because it is a little bit difficult to run as a main weapon. I think that's my biggest takeaway from this. If you are going to run a P90, you can probably run it as a secondary. I would not advise running it as a main weapon. It just hasn't really got the stopping power, especially late game. If you're coming against people with Growls, M4s, MP7s, you're going to be in a little bit of trouble. It just doesn't really have the stopping power you would like. It does, however, have maybe enough stopping power to use as a secondary weapon if you're in a pinch instead of your MP5 or your MP7. I ran this with pretty standard attachments. We had a longer barrel, we had a monolithic suppressor, we had things to reduce recoil and increase aim down sight speed. These all made it a pretty decent weapon most of the time. I just felt like I was always at a little bit of a disadvantage coming against anything. The MP5 beats it on speed, maneuverability. The Growl is just a monster in terms of recoil. This is always going to struggle a little bit in those terms. I would say it's about a mid-tier gun right now. If you have one and you have nothing better, it's a gun before your loadout. But it's not bad, but it's not great. That's the P90 in Warzone. Well, there's a bit of insight from the P90 in Warzone from me. If you disagree, or if you agree, or if you just want to run a little bit of a different class, make sure you put it in the comments. We'll take a look and see if we can't improve the P90 over the following weeks. But we have looked at a gun now. It's time to look at our map as we go into our map highlight, and this time we're going downtown. Welcome to downtown, a massive cluster of high buildings and close-quartered streets. So, coming to this location has its benefits and its negatives. Let's talk about the benefits to begin with. There are an awful lot of contracts in this area, so if you do want to get money quickly, you can do. And of course, there are lots of loot locations as well, bearing in mind that there is so much verticality, you can find loot on the roofs and in the lower lobbies of all these buildings. But that brings me on to what is admittedly a personal bias of mine. My biggest issue with this part of the map is it can be very, very difficult if you are kind of going through the streets. Lots of people like to camp up on these buildings, and if they are up on these buildings, they may have snipers or long-range weapons, and it can be difficult for you to shoot back. And even if you do shoot back and try to knock them down a peg or two, they can just revive each other as well. So, if you do go to downtown, maybe your playstyle is sitting onto a building and sniping and keeping your mates back, kind of boarding up either the stairwell or one of the elevators and making sure nobody can take you down. If you like that style of gameplay, this is 100% the place to go. You can be very, very safe and enjoy sniping to your heart's content. If, however, you are maybe a player like me who enjoys fast, furious games with trying to get high kill counts, this is a dangerous area. I would even go so far to say is not only do you not drop here in those kind of games, but you avoid rotating through this area as well. Trust me when I say more than one game has been ruined by going through downtown and just being unable to either push a team as they have all the kind of stairs covered, or they're just sniping from the rooftop at our leisure. It can be very, very frustrating to actually make any sort of big plays here unless you have a helicopter and can get up vertical fast. So it's a mixed bag. This is one of these areas for me, personally, I'm going to avoid. But you may enjoy going here and playing a completely different way. Now, fortunately, I've never actually had a zone end in downtown, as I can imagine it would be complete chaos with the super tall buildings. And one thing I can say if you do go here, remember to pull your parachute before you hit the ground if you are jumping off a building. That's happened to me more than once. But that's downtown. It's a mixed bag of high buildings and close streets. If you love it, you love it. If you hate it, you certainly don't. But that is the map. There we go. Downtown in Verdansk. Is it your favourite place? Let us know in the comments below. Obviously, I have mixed feelings about the place. But it's been a very big show this week. I hope you've enjoyed it and stayed with us to the end. We do appreciate it. Make sure to follow on all of our socials. And we'll see you next week, every week, Tuesday, 8 PM. Thank you for watching.
There's one shot.